I've always wanted to do that, and since, I'm completely incompetent at YouTube and everything associated with it, I figured I might as well give it a go. Okay, so we are talking about literate programming, and in order to do that, I have been going through the process of creating a whole new blog, and it turns out that in order to create a blog using R and all of the associated tools, you actually have to learn a lot of other things in the process. So we've learned quite a bit of GitHub, we've learned bits and pieces about what Markdown is. I've had to stop and pause to explain things like what's that double colon notation in R commands. These are all actually useful things. I mean, I realize that string of bells goal here is really just to write a blog about waffles, but yet somehow, miraculously, she's being forced to learn a whole lot of other crap. Yeah, I really should try to make this G-rated, but like my children are going to watch this. Actually, they probably will. Regardless, it's worth taking a moment again to think about the process we have just gone through. So, alright, when we started this out, we started it with this new blog repository that DJ Navarro created on her GitHub account. I mean, she is me, but we're trying to keep in mind the separation between who the different people are, because GitHub and Git is fundamentally a tool about collaboration and working with other people while doing programming. So we have two people here in these pictures. So DJ Navarro in the bottom in blue, and there will be Stringer Bell and up the top in pink. So what happened originally is DJ Navarro created this new blog repository, and she published that to her website up on GitHub Pages. It's just because it's kind of handy to be able to check these things ourselves. So let's go back over and go, okay, DJ Navarro, hold on, that's not what I actually want. I want to go GitHub, I'm just going to scroll down. Okay, there we go, GitHub, DJ Navarro, so this is me. And then if we just go, so I can search on here actually just as easily as I can search anywhere else, and we go new, and oh, this is logged in as Stringer Bell, which is really obnoxious, but that makes sense because Stringer Bell is one who's doing the work. Well, let's just find out whether or not it will do it inside. It does. Excellent. GitHub searching is actually pretty useful. So okay, this is the repository that DJ Navarro created, and she has this website at djnavarro.github.io/newblog, right? And if I click on that, we get the slumdown blog that I showed you at the beginning. It does not have Stringer Bell's waffly post about waffles. Okay, so that's that makes sense because if we go back over here to the slides, this is DJ Navarro's blog. What we want to do is now have Stringer Bell go through the same process. So what we did first is, so Stringer Bell created Waffle Blog using DJ Navarro's template, right? And then she created this RStudio Cloud project called Waffle Blog. So notice now we've gone from, so here are our columns. In the middle I've got GitHub, that's the site over here. This is GitHub. Then there is, in this little notation, coming back over here, GitHub Pages, right, which is the thing that says github.io. The GitHub Pages site is the blog site. Right? So these are different websites. I mean, the two GitHub ones are owned by the same people, but they are notionally distinct things. So we have, going back over here, so when there are now, so when Stringer Bell created her RStudio Cloud project, she moved over here onto the left. So now she has her copy of the GitHub repository in RStudio Cloud. But what she wants to do is kind of follow the same path that DJ Navarro did over here on the right hand side and get it to GitHub. So we have some problems, right? No, not problems, we have to learn something new. What we've done so far is have Stringer Bell modify the blog. So she's taken DJ Navarro's blog and she's gone, I'm going to type some stuff about waffles because I care about waffles. and so on. And just go, okay, I've made the changes I want to. What am I going to do to get this up onto GitHub? So what I need to do is to essentially go back through the process. First, what I need to do is Stringer Bell needs to push this to her GitHub repository. So this is back to Waffle Blog, not DJ Navarro's one. So she's pushing back to Waffle Blog, and then what we want to do from there is create a GitHub Pages website from it. So the first step, though, is let's see if we can at least do the first part. Can we take this blog that I have updated on RStudio Cloud and push it back onto GitHub? Alright, let's have a go. Let's have, there we go. So, what I'm going to do is go through the process. I'm going to have Stringer Bell do it, and I'm going to go through the whole thing. I'm not going to explain in too much detail, then I'm going to come back and explain what happened. Okay, so here we go. Here is Stringer Bell trying to push, that's the technical term, her changes up to GitHub. So from RStudio Cloud, which is where she currently is, there we go. So currently, Stringer Bell is over here in RStudio Cloud, and what she wants to do is, we can go back, if we go over to, so she is Stringer Bell, this is her. So she is signed, we'll go over to her profile. She now has one repository. Yay! Waffle Blog. And this does not yet have any of her changes. So, what we want to do is take the changes that we've made here and somehow get them to go over here. So, how do we do that? Okay, so let's have a look. We're doing all this stuff with Git, so I will go over here and go Git. Whoa, a lot of things have changed. This Git pane, which is what I'm staring at now, is RStudio's interface to Git. There are lots of ways you can interact with Git. Git is the underlying system for keeping track of these document changes. But for simplicity, I'm just going to use the ones that are built into RStudio Cloud. Yes, right, RStudio. Okay, so what I could do is go, well, look, here is that looks like the post that I've just created. Yeah, 2023-31, a very waffly post about waffles. Yep, that's it. Okay. Excuse me. Do I want that to be something that I keep? Well, the answer to that should be yes, so I should stage it. Okay, sure. Stage. I don't know what stage is. I'll explain stage in a moment. Okay, so let's stage that one. I will need to stage this one too, and oh yeah, I should stage that. There's a lot of these. This is going to get really annoying, so I will go Control A to select all, and then we go click, and now all of my changes have been staged. Awesome. What I have done apparently is stage some things, and I click on this commit button to do something with that. Okay, so staging, to explain Stringer Bell's train of thought as she goes, staging is a way of telling or telling Git which of these documents you are ready, or which of these files, which of these changes you are ready to add to your repository. Okay, so, yep, we can have a look at things. I'll just go through the documents one by one. Don't worry too much about the content here so much as just the colors. Green means a line that we've added, red means a line that's been deleted. So when we regenerated the site using ServeSite, like when Stringer Bell saved her document, it changed a bunch of things, a bunch of files, and so it's actually tracking all of the low-level changes. Like this is essentially track changes, just done at a really low and very specific kind of a level-ish. Okay, so I am not going to try and be fancy. I'm just going to say I want to commit all of these changes. So we'll say, and yeah, I have to write a message, and my commit message, whatever that's supposed to mean, is so a short thing that is supposed to describe the changes that you've made. So we go add waffles post and we go commit. And what commit's going to do is it is going to say, so this is all still within RStudio, just be clear, this is still within RStudio Cloud. What we're going to do is say our local copy of the repository, we are now going to say, yep, we are committing to having made those changes. Get it? Commit. See, I'm committed to it. Yeah, okay. None of these things are funny. Okay, so we go commit and... oh no. Okay. We have a mistake. We have a problem. What have I done wrong? Well, what I haven't done is told Git who I am. So RStudio knows that I am Stringer Bell, and GitHub over there, wherever it is, knows that I'm Stringer Bell, but the local copy of Git doesn't. I seem to have forgotten a step. Let's hope that for once in my life I was actually smart enough to oh my god, this is really freaking annoying. Can we please go back over to... wow, my browser has decided to freeze. Excellent, that's very helpful. That is exactly the kind of thing that I need right now. There we go. Okay, browsers are fun. Alright, well, I started my demonstration. Let's see how this went. Okay, so the first thing we did was staging changes. Specifically, what the staging step does is tell Git which changes need to be included. So we went over to the Git pane, we showed the that list of things, we selected everything. This Git window shows a kind of detailed view of all of the documents that have changed and the specifics of it. So that's where we got to. We selected things. We used Control A or Command A if you're on a Mac to select them. We just said, yep, we're going to commit all of these changes. We write our nice little descriptive commit message. Generally, these should be short and they should be informative. And now that we're going to make our permanent addition to the local repository, I had an error. I left that in deliberately for the sake of highlighting something that is really, really important for Git newcomers, which is just that everybody makes mistakes. I actually legitimately made that mistake the first time when I was preparing these slides because I keep forgetting those sorts of steps, and it's okay. Like, basically, get used to... it is helpful to get into the mindset that Git does weird things and it breaks and you cry a lot, and then you Google, you find out the answer, and then you stop crying because you've actually fixed it. So conveniently, what I actually did this time was write a little function called the git config script, which just speeds up this process. So what I'm going to do is, as Stringer Bell, I'm going to open up that file and I'm going to do the thing that introduces Stringer Bell to Git. Okay, so apparently I've got this function. Let's go back over. Yes. Alright. So over here in the files pane, we go git config. Yes. Okay. So this is a little bit of mystery meat here. Later on, I'm going to talk about how to make functions. For now, let us go, oh, okay, this is a function. Danielle is writing a function. That's nice. And go straight to the second part of this script that calls Danielle's new function. So git setup, blah, blah, blah. This bold-faced text here is saying that Stringer Bell should type in her email address, right? So let's go over here and go stringerbell@gmail.com. I'm just leaving that in all caps, I don't care. I'm shouty today. Stringer Bell is very shouty, so she's typing in all caps. And Stringer Bell. Okay. So now that we've saved this, Control S to save, and now we go source, right, and nothing appears to have happened, but what's happened under the hood is this stuff where I have sent the configuration details that I need to Git, and now Git knows who I am. Okay, so let's go back over to Git, our Git pane, right? Here is a thing to notice. I staged all of those changes, so I clicked all of those things earlier on, and now I've made some additional changes. So this git config thing that I have just changed has not been staged. So that is not ready to commit. I can make a decision at this point. I can either decide to commit that as well and say, yep, these changes should be one of the things I'm committing to and will forever permanently be a part of my repository when I push it back up into GitHub. Now, obviously I don't care that much about this email address, but sometimes you actually might care. This may not be the kind of information you want to push back up to GitHub. So the smart thing to do is not commit that change. This is the advantage to being able to stage as you go. So let's click on commit, bring up my commit window again, which probably I'm going to have to do in a funny way because I'm running in a browser, possibly. Well, somebody please. There we go. Okay. Yes, I think that was my problem. I still had this window open. Okay, so we go back over here, and so we can see the setup. Okay, yep, git config is not staged. Everything else is staged. That's actually what I want. My commit message is going to be adds waffle post. Okay, and for the sake of illustrating a point, I'm going to deliberately make a mistake this time and go commit and go aha. Alright, so let's have a look. We have committed something. It's gone blah blah blah, adds waffle post, yep, that looks like garbage. That also looks like garbage. Okay, it's done something. Great. It's committed all those changes. We are ready. So, couple things. First off, I keep forgetting what happens because I'm in a different window. I actually have to navigate like this now, and that's great. If I go over here, nothing has changed on GitHub. The only things that have changed are over here on RStudio Cloud. So I would typically want to go push to push all these changes from RStudio Cloud over to GitHub. However, I'm not going to do that just yet because I have made a mistake. I didn't commit docs/index.html, which is actually a pretty important one because that's, you know, going to be a home page for something. Okay, so maybe what I should do is commit that, and actually don't, because this was a mistake, I kind of don't want to create a new commit message. I sort of want to just amend previous commit. Go back to the previous one and go add waffles post, commit. Okay, so notice it's gone blah blah blah, git commit something or other, amend. What you're seeing here, by the way, is the raw git commands. I'm not going to teach you those things in these videos, but just you may as well get familiar with them because at some point in life, if you're going to continue down this path, then you will encounter more of these things. So okay, some fancy amendment has been done to my commit. Now I'm ready to go. Okay, maybe, you know, I will not be so brave this time, and I will actually, oh yeah, I gotta remember, I can only navigate like this. Okay, so, oh yeah, no, I was in the right window. I just go back to this tab. Okay, so we've done that. So we're up to step 2. We've committed the changes. We've typed our informative commit message. We've clicked commit. We're ready to go. Next step is to push. Push. That actually sounds pretty easy. Okay, let's have a go at that one then, shall we? So we go back over here and then go, okay, well, I am ready to push. So let's go push. And, oh, okay, once again, this is so we've got login information. this is, when this comes up, this is RStudio Cloud wanting to log in to GitHub so that the RStudio Cloud, so Stringer Bell can push her repository, which is currently on RStudio, up to GitHub to make those changes. So RStudio does not currently know anything about what Stringer Bell's password is, so this is the login. If you do what I'm about to do, it doesn't save the passwords anywhere, so you'd have to do it every single time. Yes, there are ways of setting this up in RStudio so that you don't have to type it in every time. I am not covering that today. Okay, so username is going to be Stringer, I've typed that wrong, Stringer Bell, which you'll just have to believe me, and there we go. Password for that is the thing that I wrote down, and I'm just going to try and oh yes, I wrote down a password. Aha! Yeah, you know, I obviously use this account a lot. So much so that I have just forgotten. Ah, really? Interesting. Try again. The boredom of typing in passwords. Okay, so we type that in. Half the time I get this wrong. Oh, it actually worked. Alright, so what we've got here is saying, so we're pushing. It is helpful to explain some parts of this. So Git is the tool. Git is pushing the changes that we've made to Origin. Origin here is what's up on GitHub. So we're pushing up to Origin on GitHub, and we're pushing this, which is our local copy. I will not explain all of the low-level details here, but essentially what we're saying is we're pushing to Origin, GitHub, from local/master on RStudio, and we've just done it, apparently. Is that correct? Let's go and have a look. Okay, so this is what it looked like a second ago. Now if I refresh the page, hey, a couple of things have changed. So notice it now says Stringer Bell adds waffle post, and there are now 2 commits. So you can actually see some information here about what's happened. There's quite a bit of information about if you go browsing through GitHub, you find a lot of information about what is in each file, but also who has changed what and when, and that is so useful when trying to figure out who to blame for a particular change, or give credit for if it's really great. Okay, so it looks like we have successfully pushed from RStudio Cloud up to GitHub. So let us check. Yay! Alright, so yep, and now we are almost ready. So it's so easy. So I've spent most of this time in this video, it's getting really long, and all I've done is the first step. All I have done is get the I've committed the changes, I've pushed on the RStudio Cloud project, and I have pushed those up to GitHub. Now what I need to do is take the GitHub repository and get that turn that into the blog on GitHub Pages, which is an associated website for publishing stuff. Fortunately, that's actually really easy to do. So to do that, the next step, we're just going to click on the settings button, so that's going to be over there, and then we're going to follow a sequence of steps, which I am just going to show in a live coding exercise, assuming I can remember where to go. Aha! Okay. So I'm just going to no longer have that full screen because it is useful to sort of see all the different browser tabs now. Okay, so we are currently in Stringer Bell's website, GitHub account. So this is not DJ Navarro, this is our new Stringer Bell account. We've pushed her changes to Waffle Blog, and now I would like to actually publish it as a website. The trick to understanding how to publish it is to notice that because of the way I set this up, there's this docs folder which contains a bunch of HTML files. That's the website. That's where everything is being created, and what I want to be able to do is have the contents of this docs folder be transformed and pushed over onto published onto GitHub Pages, so that Stringer Bell can have a blog of her very own. And I don't want any of the rest of this crap to go up on the internet. This is all my programming things, but well, it is up on the internet, but it's not going to go up as a web page. Okay, so fortunately this is really easy to do. We click on settings, we go scroll, scroll, scroll. Ooh, GitHub Pages, that's what I want. Yay! And we go under source. GitHub Pages is currently disabled, so why don't we go oh, hello, master branch / docs folder. Because I set up the blog so that this was all set up so that docs is where the website lives within my repository, all I have to do is push this little button here, wait for the page to refresh, and if we scroll back down again, we go, where are we going? Aha! Your site is ready to be published at https://stringerbell.github.io/waffleblog. Let's find out. Okay, this looks basically the same, but then we didn't edit any of that stuff, so let's go over here to posts. A very waffly post about waffles! And so we have now actually created the website. It does most of the things that we wanted it to do. It's got titles, it's got an author, it's got, all the sort of things you expect of a blog, and it's got a place kitten, it's got an equation, it's got all those things that we learned from Markdown, and it has now been published as a website. Technically speaking, we're now done. Well, sort of. There are a bunch of other things I'm going to explain in the remaining parts of this tutorial, but I believe this is just, if you ever want to read it later on, these slides are available on the Robust Tools website, djnavarro.link/robusttools, etc. The important point though is that we are done, so we're up to step 5, celebrate, eat cake, and that is my cue to end this video, end our pain, and I can promise you that the pain is only just beginning when we follow this up by a discussion of Hugo.